I'm pretty sure most of you know this, but I've been a massive cycling fan since 2005, playing every single Pro Cycling Manager and watching the large majority of broadcasted cycling races. But to be honest, I don't know that much about the history of cycling before then, and because of all the doping scandals, I never dove in and wanted to know more. But that is gonna change today, because this morning I found a historical database for PCM25 from 1973. And I'm pretty sure you recognize this guy, Eddy Merckx, 82 mountain, medium mountain, hill stat, time trial, prologue, and cobble. But actually, in 1973, Eddy Merckx did not win the Tour de France because he didn't ride it. The winner ended up being this guy, Luis Ocaña, 82 mountain, 82 medium mountain, also 82 time trial, but definitely worse when it comes to his secondaries. Anyway, next to Merckx and Ocaña, I've heard of many of the names on this page like Agostinho, Gimondi, Thévenet, Godefroot, Martens, but I don't know much about them. Like sure, I vaguely know that Roger de Vlaming won a lot of races back then, but I mostly know him for his boomer takes in Belgian newspapers. I also know that Raymond Poulidor is known as the Eternal Second, but I mostly know him as the grandfather of Mathieu van der Poel. Anyway, today's plan is playing through the entire Tour de France 1973 stage by stage and learning more about the race and the riders. Now, I do think playing with Eddy Merckx or Ocaña is a little bit overpowered, so instead, I've decided to go with this team, Team Peugeot, and there's a good reason for it. Their leader, Bernard Thévenet, 80 mountain, 80 medium mountain, 80 time trial, is known to end the Eddy Merckx era in 1975. But I think we can have a fun adventure doing it early in 1973 instead. Next to Thévenet, I've got a cobble sprinter in Eric Le Mans, 81 cobble, 79 sprint, and actually a second sprinter in Jacques Esclasson, and some proper mountain domestiques in Régis Ovion, and also Raymond de Lille, both with 75 mountain. Basically, I think we can win the Tour de France 1973, beating Merckx and Ocaña with Bernard Thévenet and Peugeot. Let's go! Starting off with stage 1, a 5.7 km flat prologue in the Netherlands, with Eddy Merckx already as the favorite. Ay ay ay! Now, in real life, Joop Zoetemelk was the winner of this prologue, also 82 prologue. Sadly, our GC leader, Thévenet, has only 75 prologue, so we're starting on a back foot. But hey, it's a 6k prologue, so I can't lose that much time. Now, of course, this is not Pro Cycling Manager 1973, so the conditions are slightly different. Back then, riders were not wearing helmets and time trial bikes were not used either, so it looks slightly different now. So I'm using Ovion as a bit of a test subject, 80 prologue on the day, so he might be better than that. Let's try and see how much effort we have to do. I think about 87. Into the final stretch, into the last corner right now, there is the finish line. Spent my red bar a bit too early, but 4th place, so pretty solid time. So basically 87-88 is our pacing plan. Anyway, now it's time for the big man. Bernard Thévenet is on the road. We've got a solid 77 prologue on the day. I'm going too fast, way too fast. 87 now. Eddy Merckx is also on the road, but we have to focus on our man. 88 on Thévenet into the final stretch. Let's take a look. 43rd place on 23 seconds? What? That is so much worse than I expected. Anyway, Eddy Merckx into the final kilometer. The question is, can he win this first time trial? Let's take a look, crossing the line, and 3rd time only. The winner is this guy, José Antonio González Linares. I have no clue who this is. And of course, he also steps on the podium for the first Maillot Jaune of this Tour de France 1973. But let's be honest, our time trial was a bit of a disaster. 17th with Régis Ovion and 46th with Bernard Thévenet on 24 seconds. That is simply not good enough. By the way, today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. As a cycling fan, it's becoming harder by the day to find a live broadcast for every race, especially when some might not even be available in your country. NordVPN helps you protect your online privacy by masking your IP address, pretending to be somewhere else, for example, in a different country. Without diving into too much detail, a VPN can be a very powerful tool for a cycling fan. Anyway, if you want to try NordVPN, you can get 70% off a 2-year subscription or 55% on a 1-year subscription through the link below. I hope we can do a bit better on the second stage from the Netherlands, Rotterdam, to Sint-Niklaas in Belgium, and there's a few cobble sectors, but mostly Echelon zones. Rick van Linden from the Rocado team is the favorite with 80 sprint. But of course, we've got Eric Le Mans with 81 cobble, 79 sprint, so I think something's possible. Now, seeing the amount of kilometers with potential echelons, I was a little bit scared for our GC rider, but Bernard Thévenet has 80 flat stats, so he should be fine. Back in 1973, this was actually not the second stage of this Tour de France. There were like 27 stages in 20 days. And this one was called 1B, so you had the Prologue, then you had the 1A sprint stage, then the 1B sprint stage, and those two sprint stages were on the same day. And this is that second sprint stage. Anyway, the wind zone has begun, and there's actually quite a bit of wind, 50 kph, as we can see on the left bottom of the screen. The peloton is fully stretching out. We are at the front of the peloton, so in a perfect position, but the splits are gonna be glorious. I love Echelon stages in real life and PCM. A proper 90 riders are behind the front peloton right now, 37 people in here, and my team is very well represented. Halfway the wind zone, Ocaña is still in the group, and I'm pretty sure Eddy Merckx is also here, right here on the first cobblestone sector. A 4-star sector? Really? That's actually pretty tough. We're now towards the back of the group, losing a couple of positions, so not looking too fantastic right now. Come on, start moving up. This stage is gonna be so destructive, also for GC. Still about 25 kilometers of wind zone left in the race, and Eddy Merckx is not looking that good. Thévenet's yellow bar, not looking fantastic either. Our team is struggling. Willy Terling is dropping off the back of this front echelon, and this is the guy that won this stage in real life. Most of the riders in this front group actually look pretty tired, so what if I make a move in this group, maybe not with Thévenet, but with Guillaume on the right side of the road? Looks like Roger de Vlaming is pacing us down, so that did not really work, and Le Mans is looking pretty tired, so he's definitely not winning this stage. On to the last cobble sector, there goes Eddy Merckx once again, flying towards Guillaume. He's flying! How am I supposed to catch that? Eddy Merckx is flying into the last 5 kilometers. Guillaume is chilling in the wheel of the green jersey, which is Joop Zoetemelk. I'll just stay in the wheel, I guess. Thévenet is in the group behind, but the tempo in this group is being set by Ocaña, so let's get in the wheel of him, I guess. Oh, Ocaña's attacking. Thévenet is in the wheel. Can we drop back with Guillaume? That would be nice. Then we can use him as a domestique in the final 2 kilometers. Let us get to the wheel. Come on, come on, come on. Right now. And let's do a lead out on 85, 90 maybe, something like that. Forgot my energy shells. The gap is 30 seconds to the front of the race. It's going to be Eddy Merckx winning. I can't believe it. There goes Thévenet. But Eddy Merckx is winning stage 2 of the Tour de France 1973. A flat sprint stage ahead of Bernard Thévenet. This was insane. Like, I've heard stories of Merckx being so dominant that he also wins sprint stages, but I didn't expect it to happen on PCM. Literally 2 stages in, and the Cannibal is already on the podium of this Tour de France. Now, I expected the win to do quite a bit of damage on this stage, but not to the point that the GC riders would be fighting for the stage win. In a solid position in GC on 36 seconds in 7th place. Oh no, stage 3 is a team time trial. 16.5 kilometers, completely flat, and Peugeot is actually second favorite. But I genuinely don't remember how to do a team time trial, so this is bad. I think the strategy for team time trials is letting your best riders do the work and not do anything with the others. But hey, I could be completely wrong. Okay, my team is about to begin. I've got my best time trialist, which is half my team, on 87-ish. Is that correct? 86. So let's make that 87. That's too much. So let's do 86 again. First 6K is done. Le Mans is done for, so he's gonna drop pretty soon, but that's okay. First time check incoming. Let's take a look. What is our time here? It is second last on 33 seconds. I thought I was cooking. Come on, team. 3 kilometers to go. Thévenet is gonna do the final stretch pretty soon. Ovion is almost done for. Sibyl off the back with 1K to go, but I'm gonna select all my riders. 99, guys. 99. It's the final stretch. Sprint, boys! Sprint! The line's right there. Come on! Ay, 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 ay. 12th place only on 35 seconds, so not a disaster, but I was hoping for better. But actually, not too many changes in GC. Eddy Merckx is still in the lead by only 3 seconds now on Ocaña, and we are in 8th on 48 seconds of Eddy Merckx. Like, I'm sorry, but this should be illegal. A stage that starts in Roubaix without a single cobble sector in the second half. Sure, a few of them at the start, but it's mostly the punchy hills in the final. My goal is to not lose time in GC. The first couple of riders are jumping in the breakaway, and we're starting off with a pretty solid day on Thévenet, a 0 day, so 69 cobble and 79 hill stat. That should be okay to survive. So I just looked up who won this stage in real life, and it was this guy, Cyril Guimard, and he ended up becoming a sports director after his career for some pretty big names, Greg LeMond, Hinault, and Laurent Fignon. It's fair to call that a pretty good career as a DS. The breakaway of two riders is taking on the hardest cobble sector of this entire ride, Auchy-les-Orchies, which is actually a big sector in Paris-Roubaix, but it's so early in the race that I don't expect too much to happen here, even in the peloton. Thévenet starting off in a good position on the sectors, immediately some punctures, but I think we should be fine, surviving this quite easily. Anyway, past the last cobble sector, so about 100 kilometers done, but obviously the hill zone is still coming, so that's where the action will be. That said, before we get there, I want to talk about Eddy Merckx a little bit and why he wasn't at this Tour de France to begin with. Like, as I said at the start of this video, I'm not an expert in this era of cycling, but I could find 3 common theories on why Merckx did not start this Tour de France, and the first one is pretty simple. He rode the Vuelta and the Giro instead, and the Vuelta and the Giro in 1973 was before the Tour de France. And of course, from a race day perspective, riding the Vuelta first, then 5 days later riding the Giro, that in itself is a crazy fact, to then afterwards do the Tour de France would have been insane. The second theory is even more simple. Merckx was riding for a team called Molteni, an Italian sponsor, and as a consequence, they wanted him to ride the Giro. But as a bit of a drama frog myself, I much prefer the last theory. The theory that says that the French cycling fans were not really a fan of Eddy Merckx, especially after dominating the Tour de France for multiple years, and ASO actually asked Eddy Merckx not to ride the Tour de France for safety reasons. And on top of that, the French did not want Eddy Merckx to win another Tour de France because he would equal the record of Jacques Anquetil. Now, of course, I wasn't there to confirm this story, but I do like the drama angle of it, so I'll go with that one. Anyway, entering the last 70 kilometers and the hill zone is about to begin, so my train is in position, so is Thévenet, and I'm ready. On to the first climb. Don Guillaume is pacing at the front of the peloton, not necessarily to hurt the peloton, but more to keep ourselves in position. But I do think I want to try and split the peloton on that next 4th cat climb, because it's very steep. To the right, onto the steep climb, let's do 99 on Don Guillaume. We want to damage the peloton over the top of this climb, Brakke in the wheel to take over. The peloton is quite stretched out over every single one of these climbs, so every time the peloton does split, but it also comes together every time. Anyway, 2 climbs to come, and I want a permanent split here. There we go, over the top of the Côte de Roussy, and keep on pushing. And now the last one, the Côte de Bouvancourt, but it looks like Molteni is pushing themselves. Can I push fast over the top of them, over the top of the climb? I think I'll go 99 into the descent. Come on, Delille. Wow, 58 riders still in this group, so not the damage I was hoping for. Honestly, on this next bump, I'll just try to attack and see if it happens. Let's get ready. We've got Ovion 85 leading towards it, and now I'll go 99 full on attack. Thévenet is in the wheel, and we will go on a duo attack right now. Let's do 95. Delépine and Ritter are closing it down, so I don't think this is gonna work. Nah, we are caught, and is Merckx gonna do something? I don't think he is. He's just sitting up. But I will try that again. There goes Thévenet with 11 kilometers to go. Are we going to see any response from the group behind? That is the question. We've got 14 seconds. Merckx is still in the group, and we're getting closed down by Agostinho again. Let's get ready. Try and attack on the left side of the road. There goes Thévenet once again with 4 kilometers to go. Merckx in the wheel now. Let's try and work together. I'm okay with it. Actually, we can ride away now because he's not exactly in our wheel. Last 3 kilometers. Come on, Bernard. Keep on going, bro. Nope. Agostinho again. Why is it always him? Ritter is now closing us down, and I'm gonna start sprinting, but on the right side of the road, lots of other riders are faster. Godefroot, Guimard, plenty of riders, but the winner is gonna be Walter Godefroot, and we finish in the group behind somewhere 11th place. Hey, I attacked like a billion times, so you can't say I didn't try anything. But it seems like we do lose 15 seconds to those first 4 riders, but we're in the same group as Ocaña and Merckx, so we're fine. Ooh, stage 5 is basically a puncher finish in Nancy. Once again, as always, Eddy Merckx as the favorite. Oh, quite a few riders on our team starting off with a -1. That is not great, but Thévenet has a 0 day, so 79 hill stat. For today's finish, which is a punchy finish, that's okay. It's actually not the steepest climb, but I've got Delille now ready to pace on 94 at the front, catching the final breakaway riders, and Thévenet in position. On to the last 2.5 kilometers, 99. Is that too much? I'll go 95, something like that. I don't want to spend too much of our red bar. We've got Merckx in the wheel of Swerts on the left side of the road. Plenty of riders in our team, plenty of riders. There goes Ovion. Brakke can launch pretty soon as well. Thévenet is ready to launch as well. Merckx on the left side of the road, but I'm not sure who's going to win. Merckx is going to win. We're going to finish second just behind Eddy right here. Second place for Bernard Thévenet. He simply keeps beating us everywhere, every single time. It's almost like Merckx was a pretty good cyclist. Who could have known? We jump up one position in GC into 9th place on 52 seconds now of Eddy Merckx. Our next stage from Nancy to Mulhouse is once again a very long stage, 233 kilometers, but I don't think there's that much we can do with Thévenet because on a flat finish we don't really have a sprint and the climb is so far from the finish that we can't really attack there. Honestly, I think I would like to go in the breakaway on this one, so let's see if we can push through on the left side here with the Lille, and let's try and attack into the breakaway right now. There we go. Our first day in the break in this Tour de France. And actually, maybe it's better to go with 2 riders in the breakaway, because 1 is only 1. That makes 4 riders in the breakaway, Van Klooster, Manzanek, Le Mans, de Lille, so 2 riders of our team. I was hoping for a bigger breakaway, but my plan is actually not to win the stage. I'll try to use the Lille as a satellite rider over the top of the last climb, giving me the opportunity to attack on that final climb and have a teammate ahead. Still a proper 100 kilometers to go, and the 2 climbs are coming, and I gotta say Le Mans almost done when it comes to energy. The Lille is looking pretty good, but the gap to the peloton is only 3 minutes, so it's not as much as I hoped for. Eric Clement did a fantastic job keeping this breakaway ahead, and it looks like we're going to continue with 2 riders only because de Lille and Manzanek are the only riders with energy left on this first climb. Actually, Manzanek is attacking me towards the top for the KOM points, but I don't care too much about that. I want to try and save my energy, catch back up, and work together with him in the valley. Meanwhile, the peloton is also about to cross the top of that first climb, with Luwaldi pacing right now for the team of Roger de Vlaming, but the gap towards the front is now 5 minutes 40, so it's looking a bit better now. Now turning on to the Ballon d'Alsace, roughly 8.5 kilometers at, I think 7 to 8%, so quite steep. The peloton is also on the climb, and we've got some attacks. Lassa, Moser, and Bellone, yes, that's his name, attacking in the peloton. I'm keeping myself in position, and actually, I'm going to make a move with my team here on the left side of the road. There we go, now up to 90 pacing, and I'm going to switch this up. Thévenet is going to have Ovion in the wheel, and Don Guillaume is going to be protecting Thévenet right now, and I'll pace on 85 with Thévenet, and I'll try to bridge towards the Lille on the climb. And I don't know why, but the peloton is kind of sitting up. Eddy Merckx is, oh, just as I say that, Bruyère comes to the front to help out Eddy Merckx, and Merckx is now pacing himself. Don Guillaume is done for. Ovion is now protecting Thévenet close to the top now, 2 kilometers only, still 3 minutes behind the Lille, so should I pull him back or not? There is no choice here. GC is much more important than a stage win, so 2 domestiques is so valuable to potentially gain minutes in this race. There we go, Ovion and Thévenet are catching up with de Lille, still 1 rider up the road then because Manzanek has passed Mr. de Lille, who was waiting. We've got a 3-man train and a gap of 1 minute on the peloton. Was pulling back de Lille a mistake? I don't know, but they're flying. They are flying in the peloton. Come on, Ovion, keep on pacing. 30 kilometers to go, we are catching up with Manzanek as we speak, but in the same time, 24 seconds only to the peloton group? How is this possible? Pulling back de Lille was a massive mistake. With 24 kilometers to go, we've officially been caught by the peloton, and everything we tried backfired. And to be honest, the tempo in this group by Freddy Martens for Godefroot is so incredibly high that I'm not sure attacking now will work, but I think I still need to try. Let's do it over here. There we go. Don Guillaume attacks with Thévenet in the wheel. 5.5 kilometers to go. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Let's pace 99 with both of you, buddy. Both of you. Thévenet, go to the front. 12 seconds right now. Freddy Martens is closing it. Merckx is closing it as well. What a disaster. What a complete disaster. 1.8 kilometers to go. Let's just keep going, keep going, keep going. Hopefully a gap opens up. Don Guillaume stop pacing. Thévenet is trying to follow, but it's not going to work. The stage is being won by Roger de Vlaming by a millimeter over Walter Godefroot. And Thévenet finishes once again in the top 10, but no time gain today. Anyway, a couple of changes in GC, but we stay stationary in 9th place with Thévenet on 52 seconds. And slowly but surely, I'm starting to crave a stage win, you know? I want to win something. The question is, can we do it on stage 7? Looks like a hilly parkour, maybe a versatile sprint, but as always, Eddy Merckx is the favorite. Just like the last stage, Le Mans and de Lille both in the breakaway, and actually, if we look closely, we can see that the Lil has the KOM jersey on, so that's pretty cool. Now, as the breakaway is on the first climb of the day, I want to give you a bit of a fun fact. It's actually one of our riders, Don Guillaume, that won this stage in real life. 1.6 kilometers to the KOM point, and I think I need to get ready because I kind of want to win it with the Lil, even though it's only 2 points, so I'm not sure it's really worth it. I'm going to try and launch right now on the right side of the road, and I went too slowly, or can I pause them still? We've got Viejo taking it. No, it's the Lil. There we go, 2 points. But I think we are losing Eddy Merckx in this breakaway because there's no downhill to recover. With about 70 kilometers to go, we are slowly but surely approaching the hills, and the gap from the breakaway to the peloton is about 3 minutes 40, so it's definitely still catchable. And in the peloton is a team of Roger de Vlaming pacing. We've got ourselves sitting quite passively, and once again I focus on the peloton, and once again we are getting attacked, but the other two are basically getting dropped, so we're gonna catch up quite easily once again. Closing towards the top of the climb and closing into the wheel of Torres as well. We've caught him, and he attacks again over the top. Come on, buddy. This is just stupid. And once again, we've caught up, and we're now dropping Torres, but we've got a 15-kilometer valley to take care of, and my yellow bar is not looking too fantastic. The tempo in the peloton is set by Henny Kuiper, and the gap is now under 1 minute on the last few slopes right here, but we're so close to the downhill. Come on! Quite literally the last bump as we speak. Right there is the downhill. 25 seconds on the peloton, but we are in the descent, so come on, buddy. Fly! I am literally all out attacking in this descent, and my yellow bar is actually not recovering because of that, so I can't afford to do this. Ay, ay, ay. This Dutch guy, Kuiper, is single-handedly closing down the Lil, and there we go. We've been caught with 9 kilometers to go, so I gotta switch plan here. We've got Brakke at the back of the group, but Thévenet and Don Guillaume also in bad position, so let's try to move up now. I need to get to the front. 2 kilometers to go. Don Guillaume is doing a lead out for Thévenet, but I don't have any yellow bar, and I'm getting passed left and right, so this is a complete waste of energy and time. What a sad, sad day. The winner of the stage looks to be Eddy Merckx. Is it gonna be Eddy? He's getting passed on the line by Van Linden. Ay, 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 Merckx. He's washed. But roughly a minute after the first rider, the Lil finishes after a fantastic stage, but sadly, it didn't work out. I was really hoping for the stage on this one to go to the breakaway to take it, but it did go to the peloton, and we finished 18th with Thévenet, but we don't lose any time. But Joaquim Agostinho does lose time, so we move up 1 position into 8th place, still on 52 seconds. That said, I do think GC is about to change on stage 8, because this is a proper mountain stage. Col de la Colombière, followed by the Col des Aravis, and finishing on Méribel, so 3 proper mountains. And to my surprise, Eddy Merckx is not the favorite, it is actually Luis Ocaña. But our GC leader, Bernard Thévenet, is not too far off, 4th favorite, so I think it's possible to do well here. So in game, this stage is stage 8, but in real life it was actually stage 7B, an afternoon stage after already taking on a mountain stage in the morning before it, which that is crazy to me. Quite a few riders hopping in the breakaway, including Lucien Van Impe, and actually I wasn't planning to go in the breakaway, but I probably should for KOM points, so there goes the Lil into the attack, and let's try and bridge towards the break. We've got a gap of about a minute on the peloton now, but we're not in the breakaway yet. We're kind of stalling 30 seconds back, so not a great start. The last thing I need is a chasse patate with the Lil. Okay, it took us blood, sweat and tears, but we have made it to the breakaway with not much yellow and not much red, so let's try to recover a bit. In the meanwhile, let's talk about the winner of the stage in real life. It was actually one of our riders once again, Bernard Thévenet, our GC leader. But despite Thévenet winning the stage, it was Ocaña in the yellow jersey by 3 minutes, so the start of his dominant victory. Anyway, that corner right there marks the start of the first climb of the day, the Col de la Colombière, which is a pretty serious climb, but I'm just staying passively in the group here with a gap of 4 minutes 30 now on the peloton, so the break's doing pretty good. And now halfway the climb, the gap is expanding to 7 minutes, so it's looking like the stage might go to the breakaway, which I had not even considered. I was simply here for KOM points. 1.6 kilometers to go. Torres is once again in the group, so we gotta watch out here. 1.3, 1.2. What is going to happen? Is anyone gonna launch? Yes, they do. I'm gonna try and get to the wheel of Torres. That is my plan. And wait, oh snap, we are not in the wheel of anyone, so let's just launch it. Come on, the Lil. Let's try to come past right here. We are spending lots of energy, so we're going too early, but yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. Only 2 points for the Lil, so that is not great. But actually, in the middle of these 2 climbs with about 90 kilometers to go, the gap from the breakaway to the peloton is 12 minutes, so this break looks like it's gonna win, but González Linares, the closest rider in this breakaway in GC, is 3 minutes down, but he's pacing for his teammate Fuente, who is 16 minutes down, but a better climber, so they're going for the stage win and giving up on a potential yellow jersey. In the last 2 kilometers of the Col des Aravis, I need to be ready for the others to attack pretty soon and get to their wheel, which failed on the last climb, but 1.2k to go, the attacks will come. Not really, not really, not really. Now they are. Can I get into the wheel of Torres right now? Come on, allow me to do that. And it is happening. We've got 700 meters to go. I'll launch right now all out with 600 meters to go. Can we get past that is the question. Ooh, I don't know. Yes, we did. 5 points, and we take the first place on the Col des Aravis. Nice. Entering the last 50k quite soon, and the final climb is the only obstacle left, and it looks quite big, but in this breakaway, 4 riders from the same team, from the CAS team, and they're pacing like crazy in the valley, so the gap to the peloton is still 11 minutes. Oh la 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 la, from the foot of the final climb, riders in the breakaway are attacking. I'm choosing to do my own tempo because it's a climb of 22 kilometers at 6%, a super long one. Ay ay ay, 10 kilometers to go on the climb, and look at my yellow bar, it is not looking fantastic. We are on 50 seconds right now, and riders are riding away like crazy. Van Impe is gonna win this with utter ease, I think. Actually, never mind. Fuente has passed him with his 82 mountain stat and is riding off to the victory in the last 8 kilometers. And in the peloton, Thévenet is in a group of 25 riders, and nothing's happening here. Not a single thing. We're entering the last kilometer. There goes Merckx on the right side. We are on the left side of the road. We're not going to gain any time. We might even lose a couple of seconds because Merckx is gapping us at the finish line. So we don't win the stage and we lose time in GC. At the end of the day, the winner was José Manuel Fuente by 4 minutes. So by far the best climber in this breakaway. And we finished 7th with Delille. But more importantly, Thévenet finishes in the same time as Eddy Merckx. So no time lost there. And in GC we move up 1 position, but still on 52 seconds. So barely any changes in GC. But hey, the one thing that is going our way is the KOM jersey, 22 points now for Raymond Delille, so a bit of a gap. That said, I was expecting a lot more from this stage. But our next stage, stage 9, is once again a monster of a stage. We've got the Côte de la Madeleine, followed by the Galibier, followed by the Izoard, and finally Les Aurès. I think we'll once again try to go in the break with Raymond Delille for KOM points. Actually a pretty solid breakaway on this one, 15 riders in total, and we've got Van de Vijver, but I don't think he's going to make it to the breakaway. Le Mans is not going to survive too long either, so it's going to be Delille and Ovion for our team. Riders are dropping one by one, 1.7k to the top, not in a perfect position, and we are getting blocked in as we speak, so that is not perfect. Let's do 95 right now. Delille is ready to launch pretty soon. Not yet, not yet. Let's go to 99. Delille in the wheel waits as long as possible into the final stretch, all-out sprint, and we take the points on top, and Ovion takes points away from the rest, so a perfect ride. Now go back to 30, maintain position, and recover, buddy. Meanwhile, in the peloton, I've already lost Le Mans, Esclasson, and Braque, so only 3 riders left in the peloton, Thévenet, Danguillaume, and Sibylle. Now, of course, the Madeleine was a pretty big climb, but the next climb, the Col d'Aubisque, is even bigger, and the last portion is quite steep. We've got Ovion pacing in the valley on 65 together with the others, and the gap to the peloton is a whopping 10 minutes. I'm feeling good. That said, on the Aubisque climb right now, I'm reducing my tempo. I'm basically not even pacing anymore. I'm protecting Delille instead, because I think the other riders in this breakaway will pace the climb instead of me. Entering the second half of the Aubisque, and I'm starting to pace with Ovion in this breakaway again, because I don't like a gap of 5 minutes only to the peloton, you know? Meanwhile, the peloton is down to 50 riders only. Sibylle is basically done for when it comes to energy, so he's probably not surviving the Galibier. Thévenet only has Danguillaume left, so ay ay ay. In the last 3 kilometers of the Aubisque, and I'm struggling when it comes to energy with both my riders here. Ovion is gone. He's going to try and come back in the descent, but now I need to focus on Delille because 3 riders are getting away, and I want the KOM points here because it's an out-of-category climb. Come on, buddy. 87 in the last kilometer, passing this guy Galdes. Can we get as close as possible to the front 2 riders? It's going to be a 2nd place for us. Torres is going to take it, actually. We're getting blocked here by Martinez. We're getting blocked by Martinez. Buddy, come on. He went to the right to deviate into us. And he's taking the KOM points away from us as a consequence. There we go. Just before the second last climb, Delille is back at the front of the race. But there comes the first move in the breakaway. Torres has attacked and is now 20 seconds ahead. I've got Ovion pacing on 65. I'll make that 70 for a little bit. And without too much trouble, we are getting back to Torres, so that was easy to catch. But 6k to go. Delil is basically solo because Ovion is off the back. I don't want to pace too fast here either. I want to save my energy. 5k to the top. Meanwhile, in the peloton, the tempo is once again pretty slow, so the gap is about 7 minutes, and it's going up. Oh, right when I was focusing on the peloton, multiple riders are attacking in the breakaway. Galdos, Torres, and Martinez. I'm focusing on doing my own tempo on 85, but it's only 3k to the top, so it's about trying to catch as many of them as possible to gain as many KOM points as possible. There we go, one of them is caught, Martinez, in the last kilometer here, but I think the other two are fighting for the points, and it's gonna be Torres taking the points, or does Galdos come across? No, he doesn't. Delil is finishing third place on this climb, so we do get some points, but we are gapped by 40 seconds. I don't think Ovion is going to make it back to the front of the race, so I think I'll wait on the peloton with him so he can be useful for Thévenet instead. The gap is now 10 minutes, so the break is definitely winning the stage, but we are actually pretty far behind right now, 40 seconds, so we need to get back. Come on, the gap is 30 seconds, but I'm spending so much energy closing this gap. I'm gonna be empty by the time the climb starts. Here we go, we are back in the breakaway, but now I need to sit up and I need to recover as much as possible because we've got so little yellow bar. Like, the last climb is actually not the biggest one in the world, but our energy is not looking good enough with the Lil, so I think I'll focus on the peloton with Thévenet because his +1 daily form gives him literally 83 medium mountain on this final climb. The climb is starting, there comes a move by Torres, but I don't have the energy to try and follow that, so I'm having to do my own tempo on, let's say 70, that might even be too much. But I will try something in the peloton on the final climb. We've got Thévenet pacing on 85 with 13 kilometers to go, that is a lot. In the meanwhile, our rider in the breakaway is completely out of yellow, so this won't go anywhere. Riders are dropping like flies in the peloton, down to 9 riders, so I think that's my time to go. There we go, Thévenet attacks, we've got Ocaña in the wheel. Let's sit up again on 85 and wait a second to see what happens. And once again with a move, there goes Thévenet again. We've got an immediate gap on Ocaña. A group of 4 riders is catching up. Ocaña's closing us down.
12 seconds later.
Ay, 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 ay. There goes Eddy Merckx. Ocaña is following, and I don't have the yellow bar to follow that move, nor the red bar, so everything is backfiring. I've spent so much yellow bar with my move that I'm gonna enter the last kilometer with barely any energy left. Can I even stay with Zoetemelk and Van Impe? Van Impe is dropping, that's for sure, but I think I'm losing time to 3 riders today. Zoetemelk, Ocaña, and Eddy Merckx, and I'm gonna capitulate completely here because I don't have any energy left. Ay, 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 ay. I thought I was cooking something, but I got cooked. We do move up 3 positions in GC to 4th place with Bernard Thévenet, but we are 1 minute and 29 seconds behind on Merckx, who is leading the Maillot Jaune by 13 seconds on Ocaña, so it's all still pretty close. For context, in real life, the gaps after this stage was 9 minutes from Ocaña to the second rider. Oh my goodness, once again a mountain stage on stage 10, which looks like it could go to the breakaway this one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think it's time to go into the breakaway, yo. I think that works. Delil in the wheel of Le Mans, and once again on 85, let's try and pull ourselves away from the peloton. Actually, I just clocked that Delil is not in KOM anymore. He's got 2 points less than Torres right here, so we gotta beat him on the climbs. I've lost Le Mans in the breakaway, so I think I'll send Ovion in the break as well. There we go, he can try and bridge towards Le Mans, or actually, Le Mans can wait for him. Le Mans tried to help Ovion as long as possible, but it was not very long. We are now a minute behind with Ovion, but now I gotta focus on Delil because I want those KOM points. I'm trying to spend as little energy in this breakaway as possible. Volunteer of the back, Torres is still here. We've got 3.5k to the top, but I don't have much yellow bar, so I'm feeling pretty bad about this. I'm gonna have to go 77 and hope that Torres is done for. Yes, he is. That is great, and I think this guy's done for as well, so we're gonna cook this climb and take the KOM points. Here we go, second cat climb, so 5 points. As you can see, we're now once again first, 1 point ahead of Torres. And of course, I decided to wait on the group with Delil, and perfect news, Ovion has also caught up, so we're now at 2 riders in this breakaway. On to the second climb now, the Col de Valberg. Once again, I want the KOM points. Right now, in the last segment, we will sprint and we will take the points with utter ease. Thought is once again second, but we expand our lead. Wait a second, the gap from the peloton to the breakaway is now suddenly roughly 9 minutes and a half. And there's close riders in GC in this breakaway. Francesco Moser with 6 minutes 22 back, so he's virtually in yellow. That said, he's not the best climber, so I think I can drop him by the end. Anyway, still 100 kilometers to go, but it's time for the second last climb, the Col Saint-Martin, which is a pretty small one. Last 1.6 kilometers, I'm getting blocked in, I don't like it, so let's try to come past on the left side of the road on 92-93. Let's keep pushing and let's try and get away pretty soon. Let's wait. Right now on the left side, and we're gonna take the points here, I'm pretty sure, with utter ease. There we go, once again. Okay then, one climb left to come, a gap of 7 minutes and 30 seconds to the peloton from this breakaway, so this break should on paper win the stage, and we've got 2 riders in here, so we've got the upper hand. Oh, Torres is done. The Lil is gone together with Pessarodona, and we're gonna drop him once my energy gel kicks off, because then we can attack with more red bar. That is kind of the plan. There we go, that's the moment. In this corner we go. We've got Pessarodona in the wheel, and we're spending too much energy now. This was a big mistake. This was a massive mistake. We're getting countered. No. Why did I attack? Ay, mistakes were made. We're gonna get over the top, not too far behind though, so we might be able to get back in the downhill. Yes, indeed. Second on this climb, but that was a mistake by me. And actually, in the peloton, nothing is happening. So we're still in the peloton of 17 riders with Thévenet, and we're gonna stay there. Just about 40 kilometers to go, mostly downhill. We've got the last 11 seconds to close towards our man up the road here, and then I'm gonna sit in the wheel for the entire descent to try and recover energy. Today is our chance. Oh snap, that's an attack. We gotta respond to that. Gradually reel that in, buddy. Oh, the gap is 10 seconds with 20 kilometers to go, so it's definitely catchable, but I don't have unlimited yellow bar either, so I'm a little bit worried. Guys, I've got bad news. My man is completely out of energy with 2 kilometers to go, and when I look at the front rider, he still has energy, so the stage win is going to this man, Pessarodona. And I gotta say, this one hurts, because I really believe that we could have won this if I played a little bit better. But still a fantastic day in the saddle for the Lil, his 17th time in the breakaway in a row. GC riders in the final K almost as well. Thévenet is just gonna launch it with 1.3k to go, why not? Let's just do it. If we can see gaps in the group, that's great, but I don't expect it to happen. Not really. Merckx finishes first of the group and we finish in it, so okay day for GC. I wish I won this race. I'm so sad I'm second place on this one, but hey, we gotta earn our stage win, and today we didn't. But now it's time for a pretty simple stage. A versatile sprint is how I'd classify it, but the game sees Eddy Merckx as the favorite, like almost every day. Like, I was considering not doing this, but I do think I need to go in the breakaway once again, because at the start here we've got 2 categorized climbs, and I do want the 5 points of that second cat climb. So, Le Mans, de Lille, and Ovion into the breakaway. 3 riders up the road. That said, our hard lead out did lose as Le Mans in the breakaway, so he's probably going back to the peloton because he's out of energy. Anyway, we're now halfway the race. The gap was 6 minutes at the start, but now it's 4 minutes, so I don't actually believe too much in this breakaway anymore. I think it's gonna be for the peloton. I'm simply gonna keep on pacing with Ovion in this breakaway. It's costing a lot of energy, but it's worth it if it works. Almost at the top of this first climb, and I think I'll skip the KOM points because I want to keep my energy for the second climb with the Lil to try and win the stage, but the gap is only 3 minutes, and these other guys are obviously gonna go for the KOM points, but I'll just pace myself. Okay then, time for the final climb, the Col de l'Espigolier. I'm pacing 77 right now on the Lille. Ovion is basically done for. We've got the other guy also gone, Van Maldergem. That said, the peloton is flying up the climb as well. The gap is down to 2 minutes. Come on, the Lille, keep on pushing in this breakaway. I am upping my tempo to 85. Yes, there we go. Paulini off the back. I had to drop him because he had 72 sprint stat. Now I need to keep pushing 2 minutes on the peloton, but it's mostly downhill. I think we've got this. I think our man de Lille finally can win a stage. Just about to go over the top, taking the KOM points, but it's all about the stage now. We've got a minute 50, 17k to go. I think it's possible. Come on, man. In the peloton, multiple teams are trying to collaborate, and my yellow bar with the Lille is not actually looking that fantastic, but it's only 4 kilometers to go. Come on, man. 75? Is that too much? It could be. I'll just keep on pacing. The lead out in the peloton is starting for Godefroot, but it's gonna be too late. De Lille is in the last kilometer, and we are doing it. Raymond de Lille is winning a stage for Peugeot, and he's starting to celebrate in that KOM jersey. There we go, stage win. Now to the peloton. Thévenet, don't get lost, don't get dropped. There we go. And we finish in the group. A perfect stage. Oh la 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 la. With his feet in the podium, Raymond Delille on the podium of the Tour de France. That is a beautiful sight. Let's go. Gotta say, it took us pretty long, 11 stages to get a stage win with a team that is quite competitive. I expected to win earlier, but it's a nice win, that's for sure. And of course, Delille properly expanded his KOM standings with 22 points now on second place Pedro Torres. And actually, I only just realized that we are in the white jersey with Thévenet, and I think we'll win it. Ay ay ay, next up is stage 12, a time trial, 27 kilometers completely flat with Ocaña and Merckx as the favorites. We are 7th favorite. So yeah, let's try to stay as close as possible in GC. So, Ovion is starting with 80 time trials, so I think he's my recon rider before we get to Thévenet. Let's try to figure out what effort we need to do in this completely flat time trial. Honestly, I think 82-83 is pretty good. First time check is 10th place, so not that great for 80 time trial. In the final stretch, running out of red bar perfectly, and a 7th place, so I think that's a solid pacing plan. 82-83 the entire time trial. Now it's time for the big man in the white jersey. We've got 82 time trial on Thévenet, so starting off on 83. I decided to up my effort to 84 on Thévenet. First time check is 10th place once again. Entering the last kilometer as we speak, and we are out of yellow bar, spending our red bar a bit early, so we gotta make sure we don't run out before the finish line. Ooh, we are 10th place once again at the finish. And I'm sorry, but Merckx got first at the intermediate time check, so he's probably winning this. Yes, he is. And by quite a solid gap as well, a minute to 13th place Bernard Thévenet, so a pretty disappointing time trial with 82 time trial on the day. Ouch, losing our 4th place in GC to Felice Gimondi, 6 seconds only is the difference, but I was hoping to get closer to the podium, and that did not happen. We'll have to find a way to do so in the mountains. Or should I say mountain, because stage 13 is a single mountain, going uphill from start to finish for 70 kilometers to Pyrénées 2000. Honestly, I'm not sure what to expect from the stage. I kind of feel like it's gonna go to the peloton, so I won't go into the breakaway. Especially because the team of Merckx Molteni is already pacing in the peloton to control them, so yeah, it's for the peloton. In the meanwhile, because the tempo on the flat is so significant, I'm trying to micromanage my energy effort on Thévenet because I want to keep my yellow bar as high as possible before the climb starts. In the last 22 kilometers, and we're slowly but surely arriving at the actual climb, we are in position on 68 effort, so it might be time to up that to 75. But now in the last 13 kilometers, and there's barely any damage to the peloton, 90 riders still in this group to the point that I'm kind of scared it's gonna be a versatile sprint. So yeah, I might as well start pacing with Thévenet myself here on this climb to try and actually do some damage here. And now this peloton is thinning out very, very quickly, down to 30 riders, and rider by rider, they are dropping. So Thévenet is ready to make a move pretty soon, I think. Right now, over the top, there we go. Thévenet onto the attack. Let's see what happens behind us. Oh snap, response by Eddy Merckx, and now we're with 2 up the road, so let's try to work together a bit. The gap we have is only 13 seconds, but if we can collaborate, then I can gain time on other competitors. 2.8 kilometers to go in the wheel of Eddy Merckx right now. Come on, buddy, keep on pacing, guys. Ocaña's launching towards us. Ocaña's launching towards us. I'm gonna launch myself right now with 1.7k to go. I've got Ole Ritter in my wheel, but I'll keep on pacing in the last kilometer. Come on, Thévenet, keep on going. Eddy Merckx tries to close us down. Eddy Merckx is closing us down. No, no, no! Heartbreak on the line. On Pyrenees 2000, Eddy Merckx wins ahead of Bernard Thévenet. It was so close. We nearly had it! I swear, every time I've got a gap on Eddy Merckx and become hopeful that I can gain time on him, he just comes out of nowhere and strikes me down. That said, a 2nd place is quite good because we are gaining time on Felice Gimondi, Ocaña and Zoetemelk, our competitors for the top 2, 3 and 4. And just like I was hoping for at the start of the stage, Bernard Thévenet is now back in 4th place. By the way, as most of you know, next to playing Pro Cycling Manager, I also love riding my bike myself. But cycling can be a pretty expensive sport, and that's where Sirocco comes in. Sirocco is a cycling clothing company that makes quality cycling kit for an affordable price. For example, their Aspen and Kaufman bib shorts are perfect for shorter rides, especially for beginners who don't want to spend 200 euros for a bib short. And for longer rides, I use their SRX Elite bib shorts, basically their highest level bib shorts, and they're still affordable. Back in 2024, I finished the Paris-Roubaix Sportive with these bib shorts without a single saddle sore. That's when you know they're pretty good. Anyway, if you like what you see, you can now get 10% off any Sirocco products through the link in the description or using code BenjiNasen. Check out Sirocco. Holy guacamole, look at stage 14, what a monster stage. 219 kilometers with 5 climbs starting off at the Col de Puy-Morin. Then we've got the Col de Port followed by Col de Portet d'Aspet, Col de Monte, and finally the Col du Portillon. Some of those are pretty steep. And as always, I don't think I need to tell you who the favorite is. We are 4 favorites, so I feel like something's possible here. So I'm gonna pause this stage for a second to look at my team here. The Lil with a +1 on the day, so 78 Mountain. I think that's breakaway day together with Le Mans. That is the plan. Ovion can stay in the peloton, I think, with Thévenet to try and maybe attack in the peloton because I need to take time in GC, of course. The rest of the team is gonna be Thomas Teeks in the peloton, so I think that is my plan. Let's get these boys into the breakaway, Le Mans and the Lille. Just when it starts, there we go. We've got 2 riders up the road already. And let's work together here to try and form a breakaway. Actually, I've decided I'll go with Ovion in the breakaway as well because he might as well try and be a satellite rider on the stage. There we go. Because I am considering attacking on the second last climb with Thévenet, trying to bridge towards Ovion right here, and then he can pace the valley for Thévenet before the final climb. Anyway, on the first climb, and it looks like there's gonna be a break of 12 riders in total, so that's great. We've got 3 riders in there, but Le Mans probably won't survive too long. In the last stretch to the top of this first climb, and I'm not going for KOM points because it's only 2 points available here, so not worth the energy spendage. Now starting the second climb of the day, the Col de Port, and the gap towards the peloton is a massive 8 minutes and 30 seconds, so I think the breakaway is winning today. That said, the Lille does have the freedom to go for the stage. Ovion does not. He's going to try and help Thévenet with an attack later in the stage. That said, this climb is worth more than a simple 2 points, so I will go for it with Mr. de Lille, and I'll try and get... This is not great. Actually, it is. It is fantastic. We win the points, but I have to get back with Ovion now, but I'll sit up and I'll let the other guys pace here. The break is back together, and there's 70 kilometers left with 3 climbs in it, starting off with the Col de Portet d'Aspet pretty soon, and I've got Ovion not looking too fantastic, to be honest, and the gap to the peloton is only 5 minutes, so even the Lille might have to switch from going for the stage to trying to help Thévenet. The break decided to start attacking at the foot of the climb, and I decided to do my own tempo on the climb, but it's actually costing me because I'm like a minute 20 behind now, which I didn't expect. But I said it before, my focus is mostly on Thévenet for the stage, and I think I want to attack on that next climb, so let's get ready. There we go, Thévenet is pacing, and we'll see the peloton split up quite quickly, I think, under his tempo. 3.5 kilometers to the top, I think it's about time. There comes the attack of Thévenet off the front. We've got Swerts not pacing, Merckx going to the front himself, so I like that behavior. Let's keep on going now on 85. I don't think Ovion's going to be too useful because he is simply too dead. We're going to have to stroll past him very quickly. De Lille is going to wait right now on Thévenet at the top here. Let's do that, and we're going to catch up as fast as possible. A gap to the peloton of... Is it only 20 seconds? I was hoping for more. And the gap is actually closing over the top. Merckx is still pacing, but I'll attack again over the top. I'll try to get to the Lille as fast as possible. And the Merckx group is down to 9 riders only, so this is looking fun. Towards the back end of the descent, and Thévenet has caught up with the Lille, now pacing 85, so that's great. And both their yellow bars are looking pretty good. Gap is up to 50 seconds now, so this is some fun racing. Now it's time for a 15 to 20 kilometer false flat uphill valley, and I've got a teammate, so the Lille can keep on cooking. That said, Ocaña also has 2 teammates in Catio and Agostinho, but Catio's done for, so it's down to Agostinho himself, and it's always Agostinho chasing me down, but I'm hoping the Lille has enough energy to keep him behind us. That said, the valley is only halfway, and the Lille is basically done for, so it's not looking good at all right now. I'm having to spend our yellow bar on Thévenet, and the gap is 14 seconds, so we have to cancel what we're doing. There's no point in doing this. We're waiting on this group, and the Lille will protect me, and I'll try to go again on the last climb here. Time for the final climb then, roughly 9 kilometers in length, the Col du Portillon. We've got Ocaña Bellone at the front of the peloton, but I'm just gonna sit in for a little bit. I will attack again, close to the top. There goes Thévenet in the wheel of Gimondi, last 1 kilometer to the top, and it's not looking that great for a stage win, I'll be honest about that, but I'll try to launch right now in this corner on full-on attack, but we've got Herman van Springel in the wheel and 7 other riders, so ay ay ay. Let's 99 into the descent because it's basically a downhill to the finish, and let's hope we can win this based on being first in the downhill. Oh, can I gap them? We've got 9 seconds right now on Gimonde trying to close us down. Full-on attack by Tevene in the downhill. 14 seconds is the gap, so we're expanding it. The Vlaming is not exactly pacing too hard, so 18 seconds. We're gaining time. I never expected this to be possible, but we're gaining time on Eddy Merckx in this downhill. Just about 2.5 kilometers to go. There goes Mr. Eddy Merckx on the left side of the road, but it's going to be a stage win right now for Bernard Tevene. A beautiful stage win in Bagnères de Luchon. 30-second gap? Really? That's pretty great. Pretty fantastic. I did not expect that. Boom, second win in the pocket. What a beautiful sight. Peugeot on the podium of the Tour de France for the second time for a stage win, a gap of 28 seconds plus a few bonus seconds as well. So some changes in GC? Actually, yes, Joop Zoetemelk drops to 4th place in GC, so Bernard Tevene is now 3rd on the podium, on a gap of 2 minutes and 1 second of Eddy Merckx, so a little bit closer today. I swear there's been so many mountain stages in this Tour de France so far, and stage 15 is no different, but I do think this is for the breakaway because there's no proper climb in the last 50k. There we go, once again starting off into the breakaway with Le Mans and the Lille, and I think I'll try to join with Ovion as well. And halfway the first climb, the Col de Peresurde, the breakaway is already formed, 13 riders and 3 teammates of Peugeot, so we're looking good. People are starting to attack for KOM points, but now I want to try and move past them in full attack. Not yet, but let's wait right now with the Lille on the left side of the road. I don't think I'll get that many KOM points. Actually, 2nd place, 3rd I think. Now on 114 points, so quite a massive gap already. On to the second climb of the day we go, the Col d'Aspen. Not the steepest, not the hardest climb in the world, but I gotta say, the Lille having a +1 on the day, fantastic form after going in the break for 17 days in a row, that's a miracle. In the last kilometer of the climb as we speak, I might as well start launching myself, but not in full yet. There we go on the left side of the road. Ovion gotta make sure he can follow. We've got a gap on the others actually, and there we go, we're gonna easily take the points here, without a single competitor. Anyway, time for climb number 3 then. What is it called? It is the Col du Soulor, a pretty solid climb actually, but it looks like we've got some attacks from the get-go. Gotta make sure I do my own tempo a little bit, but also don't get dropped. So let's do 91 in the wheel of these attacks. There we go. People are suffering, people are dropping, but we've got Lucien Van Empe with a small gap at the front end. What is the rest of this breakaway doing? It's like they're chilling. They're choosing to wait on each other. What is happening on this climb? And like, I've got Van Impe now, but now he's sitting up in my wheel, so what was the point of that attack, buddy? Anyway, after that collective aneurysm, the breakaway is back together, and we've got 90 of climbing left on this climb, but I want to keep pushing a little bit, because I want to make sure this breakaway wins. 9 minutes on the peloton, so looking pretty solid. Then again, Joop Zoetemelk's team is pacing. Riders are dropping one by one from this breakaway, which is a good thing, and we are still present. Oh, just about off the back. Come on, get back. Ovion is dropped, but Raymond is still present. Lucien Van Impe just keeps on attacking. I'm trying to do my own tempo because I'm going to pass as many of these riders as possible towards the top. There we go. I probably could have won that KOM if I tried it a bit better, but 2nd place is fine. And of course, that was the final climb. Now a massive descent to recover, and then 3 small climbs at the finish. We know the breakaway is winning, but the question is, are we? I swear that in the last 20 kilometers, this breakaway has attacked me at least 5 times. For example here, Lucien Van Impe goes again, and I'm simply putting myself on relay 80 and closing them down again, but it's such a waste of energy for everybody. And there goes Van Impe with the attack on the next climb. Come on, guys. What are you doing? We're just rolling attacks on each other, and now I'm not exactly in a fantastic position, so let's chase them down. On the last hill, the Côte de Gelos, the gap is 20 seconds right now. Should I attack towards them? I think I should right now, towards the top of this climb. Can I get back to them? Not exactly. Or am I? Yes, indeed, and Pollentier is basically done for, but I am once again in the breakaway, so that is good. We've also got some moves in the peloton, but I'm trying to focus on Raymond de Lille because it's very difficult to focus. And see, I missed it. I missed their move, and it's 4 kilometers to go, so this is gonna cost me. 2 kilometers to go. I'm almost out of yellow bar. These 3 guys are up front. Moser is having the lead in the last kilometer here, so it's done for. I'm not catching them. 4th place out of 4 people, so what a disaster there. But in the peloton, Thévenet is chasing down no one. I don't know what's happening. I think I'll attack. There goes my move in the peloton. I've got a small gap on the people behind me, and I've got Merckx now trying to close me down, and most likely he will succeed in that, but teammates of other riders are closing me down with 3 kilometers to go, so I don't think this attack by Thévenet is going anywhere. Yeah, Thévenet has been caught, but we're gonna sprint in the final stretch right here and finish in the group with Eddy Merckx, so no real changes in GC. I spent so much time trying to win this stage just to look at the peloton once in the final 10 kilometers, and exactly at that moment, the breakaway riders attacked me. That hurt so much. Anyway, 4th place it is, and also 5th place because Ovion somehow still finished on 6 minutes. And once again, a mountain stage with 0 changes in GC, so Bernard Thévenet is still on 2 minutes and 1 second of Eddy Merckx. Now, I was about to say it's time for a sprint stage, and it looks like a sprint stage, but according to the game, it's a puncher stage, so Eddy Merckx is the favorite. Anyway, halfway the stage, and the breakaway has been caught, so 112 people in the peloton, no breakaway. Like, I know I'm shooting myself in the foot by making the pace this hard because I'm basically dropping Le Mans and S-Classant, but I don't care as much about a stage win as I do about potentially taking time with Thévenet, so I think I'll try to attack on that final hill. Here we go, there goes the move on the left side of the road by Don Guillaume. I'll try and lose the wheel right now with Brakke. Thévenet is in the wheel here, but we've got, I think, Roger de Vlaeminck, no, Godefroot in the wheel, so pretty good sprinter, but if we can work together right now with all 3 of us, we might have a chance, so let's try to do that. I don't care about the stage when Godefroot can win. I care about taking time here, and we've actually got a gap on the group of Eddy Merckx, so let's try and keep on pushing in the final 2.5 kilometers. In the last 1.5 kilometers, the peloton is trying to close it. De Vlaeminck will close it. I don't think we'll have a gap, and Godefroot is winning the stage, but I think it was worth trying, you know? So we're still sitting in that 3rd place in GC on 2 minutes and 1 second with not too many climbing stages left. I think 1. Yeah, stage 19 to Puy-de-Dôme is the only mountain stage left on the menu, and it's not exactly a multi-mountain stage, so getting 2 minutes back on Merckx is gonna be difficult. Especially because we might lose more time on this stage, stage 17, a 27-kilometer flat time trial with Gimondi as the favorite, but Ocaña and Eddy Merckx are both better time trialists. I'm starting to think I was a bit too passive in the mountain stages on week 2. Come on, Bernard, a very important day, 82 time trial on the day, so let's start off on 83, something like that. First time check incoming for Thévenet, and I am terrified. Let's take a look, 9th place on 30 seconds, and Zoetemelk was 15 seconds faster. Come on, buddy, final stretch, final stretch, final stretch, here we go! 12th on 57 seconds, ay ay ay! Oh, I think Ocaña's gonna beat me quite a bit. 2nd place for Ocaña, ay ay ay! And there comes Merckx, 1 second behind Ocaña, so miles ahead of us. Roger Swerts is the winner of this time trial, 5 seconds on Ocaña, 6 seconds on Merckx, and we are nowhere. This was a bad day for Bernard Thévenet. Losing 53 seconds to Merckx and Ocaña, but the worst part is that Zoetemelk took 40 seconds on us. And because of that, he jumps over us in GC to 3rd place, so Mr. Thévenet is off the podium. Like, sure, it's only 33 seconds, but there's not that many stages left. Anyway, for stage 18, Roger de Vlaeminck is the favorite, but we are 4 favorites, so let's give it a try. Like, sure, I do expect to sprint on the stage, but I kind of want to go in the breakaway just in case it goes to the breakaway. Because, well, we both know that the one time I'm not in the breakaway, PCM will make them win. But I also need to be realistic. The break is only 3 riders and the gap to the peloton is 5 minutes with 120 kilometers to go, so I don't think this break is doing anything. Anyway, with about 50k to go, the climb is starting. Not the hardest climb, but it is flat at the top, so no downhill directly after climbing. Brakke's breakaway still has 1 minute and 50 seconds, so they are doomed, but I'm gonna try and make a train in the peloton to put a bit of pressure on the climb. So the climb is here. My plan is the following. I'll stop right now with Le Mans. I will attack full out with Don Guillaume towards Brakke, with my 3 riders in the wheel, Thévenet in last wheel. I will go into 90 right now. Brakke is going to keep on rolling on 85 and become part of that train soon. We've got a gap of half a minute, but the tempo in this group is exploding right now. So let's put these guys on automatic to see if they survive or not. But my focus is Thévenet. We've got the Lil now on 93, something like that. Let's try that. Don Guillaume can protect. Come on, boys. Let's try and make a gap here, but Sweats is closing it. Merckx is back in the wheel. Bracke has been caught, though. Can I make a small gap by attacking right here and losing the wheel with the Lil? Is that an option? There we go. We're trying again. But now Bracke is done for, so let's move towards 95 on Ovion. This is such a silly move. I don't think this is gonna work, but we gotta try something, you know? But now it looks like it might be closing. Gap is 6 seconds and Ritter is closing the last gap. Last 4.5 kilometers, trying to move myself to the front with my team, but all these roundabouts and corners, it's making it very difficult. Now 99 past them. Last 2 kilometers, Thévenet in the wheel looking... He's not a sprinter. There's no point in this. There's no value here. I'll try to sprint, but we're not winning this. The Vlaminck on the right, and it looks like Karstens is gonna win this stage. I have no clue who you are. So it turns out that Gerben Karstens has won 14 stages at the Vuelta and 6 stages at the Tour de France, so he deserves a bit more respect. But okay, it is time for a mountain stage, the final one in this race, stage 19, 216 kilometers and ups and downs everywhere, but only one proper mountain, the last one, Puy de Dôme. Luis Ocaña is the favorite ahead of Eddy Merckx, and we are 4th favorite ahead of Zoetemelk, so hopefully we can pass him and get back on the podium. Like, I don't think I need to tell you what's about to happen at the start of the stage. Ferdinand Bracke into the breakaway with Raymond de Lille, of course. Looks like joining the break with de Lille was a good idea, 6 riders including myself, but Bracke is off the back, so that's a bit sad. I know it's a bit late, but I do want to try and get Ovion in that breakaway as well, but the gap is a solid 2 minutes now, so that will be hard to bridge.
12 seconds later.
There we go, fantastic ride by Ovion. Just about entering the last 75 kilometers with de Lille and Ovion left in the breakaway. Bracke has been dropped, so let's put him on automatic. Thévenet with a +2 on the day in the peloton, so 83 medium mountain, 83 mountain. I feel like I want to try something today, but I kind of don't feel like this race really offers an opportunity to attack early, so I think it's all about the final climb. This is one of the smaller climbs on the parkour, 8 minutes from the breakaway to the peloton as we speak. I'm simply trying to stay in the group. I don't need to fight for KOM points because that jersey is secure. In the last 20k now, the last climb Puy de Dôme is coming pretty soon, and I'm simply chilling in this breakaway and chilling in the peloton. I'm waiting for the final climb to begin to start my fireworks. And here we go, the last 10k is here, and so is the climb. Puy de Dôme is beginning, and I'm setting tempo in the breakaway, not 85 though. Let's start with 77. But while I'm doing that, we've got a move by Lucien Van Impe and Pettersson. I'll try to make my own tempo on this climb because it's very steep towards the end. There we go, we've crawled back towards Lucien Van Impe, but now Pedro Torres is attacking. I think that's his name. Nonetheless, I'm going to keep on doing my own tempo. And in the peloton, we've got Thévenet. I don't know what's happening. We are pacing. Let's pace. Why not? Once again, a small move by Lucien Van Impe before the steep section. Ovion can now wait on Thévenet. I think I can go both for the stage and try to attack with Thévenet towards Ovion before the final section. I think that's my goal here, so let's focus on the peloton for a second. Actually, I think it's too early. I still need to focus on the breakaway first, and the gap is 26 seconds, so I'm not sure I can close that man down. Let's do 90 with de Lille. I think Lucien Van Impe will be winning the stage, but I need to focus on Thévenet. He's the most important rider here. GC is simply more important, than the steep section starts right there, so that's interesting. Back to Raymond. And we are finishing right now in 2nd place. Ovion is now in the peloton, but I'm having struggles to move up. I'm having lots of trouble to move up. Let's go 94, 95. Let's do that. 93. Eddy Merckx is pacing. Can we put a gap into Joop Zoetemelk? That is the question. A small gap right now. Into the final stretch, we've got Eddy Merckx gaining a gap, but I want to try and get past Zoetemelk in GC on 99. Come on, Thévenet. Keep on going. Keep on going. Ovion needs to wait because I don't want to close the gap for Zoetemelk myself. There we go, but it's gonna be a time gain once again for Eddy Merckx. But Zoetemelk finishing, I don't know, maybe 24 seconds behind Thévenet. I don't think that's enough. To be completely honest, I was expecting the final steep segment to be way more selective. But more importantly, Bernard Thévenet had yellow bar left at the finish, so I should have attacked in the first half of the climb instead of the second half. Like, we did take some time back on Zoetemelk, but the gap is still, 13 seconds? Like, that's not a big gap, but it's basically 2 sprint stages left, so not sure how I can take it back. Oh, stage 20 does offer an exposed wind zone section, so potential echelons. Despite being third favorite on this stage, I think my focus will be smashing that wind zone segment to put some trouble into Zoetemelk or Ocaña. If I can crack one of the two, a podium is still possible. Here we go, the peloton is in the wind zone and my team is pushing and immediately gaps in the peloton. 50 seconds on the second group already, so oh la la, it's lovely. It does look like the top 10 of GC is still present in this first group and the gaps are not exactly gigantic yet, but I've got plenty of teammates left, so let's keep pushing. It also looks like other teams are pushing as well, so I think I'll keep myself on the second row for a little bit, save my riders for the last bit of the zone. Okay, now I need to try and move to the front though, because I do want to smash this group into pieces. 39 people in this leftover echelon, but I want that to be like 20. And we're not exactly in a super exposed area now, we're on a climb, so I think I want to move towards Ovion and really hammer the climb instead. Can I get to the front here on the left side of the road? Yes, I can. Let's do 99. Just go for it. Over the top, and we are hammering this tempo. Brakke can continue with Ovion protecting. Lucien van Empe, Poulidor, or in trouble. Van Springel as well is on the brink of dropping, but Moser is gone, Gimondi is gone, Zoetemelk is right there still though, Ocaña as well, so it's the riders that we need to drop that are still here. Like, you can't tell me we didn't try our best, but 13 people are still left, including Zoetemelk, Merckx, and Ocaña, so those are the people I'm trying to pass in GC. Dangyo and Thévenet are the only riders with energy we have in this group, but at least we have someone to pace right now, Dangyo. Because if we didn't, everybody else would be coming back. We do have about 29 kilometers left in the race, so it's not like we're close to the finish yet, and we don't have that much energy on Thévenet, so I think I want to try and keep it together with Dangyo and hope that we can attack away in the final. Honestly, I am considering just going with Thévenet on that next bump because I want to get rid of Agostinho, which is a teammate of Ocaña. Here we go, on that climb, there comes the attack by Thévenet on the left side of the road. The Vlaming in our wheel, can we work together? That is the question. We've got a gap of 12 seconds on Swerts. Moser is pacing, Agostinho is closing it down. So the man I was trying to drop is closing me down. There comes a move by Moser, Ocaña following. I don't feel like I want to be the one closing that. Merckx is closing it. I need to stay in the wheel though. I'm not staying in the wheel. Ay, ay, ay. Zoetemelk, come on, buddy. You gotta close it down now. I don't want to do the work. If I can make Zoetemelk spend all his energy chasing this group down, then maybe I can try and counter it right now and bridge. Is that an idea? There we go. Zoetemelk cannot respond, I think, so let's try and close down the front group. Oh my god, this might be a chasse patate. I'm literally stuck in between the front group and the second group right now, and I'm lucky no one is pacing in this second group, because I'm completely done for with 7.5 kilometers to go. Come on, 4 kilometers to go, and I'm actually getting closer to the front group right now, but I'm losing my yellow bar, which I don't like. We've got a minute! We've got roughly a minute on Zoetemelk, so if we can bring this home then, a podium is possible at this Tour de France last minute on the second last day. Last 2 kilometers, I think it's possible. I think it's happening. Not the stage, not even close. But we are going into the final kilometer and the gap is melting. The gap is melting. It is 30 seconds now. Godefroot is sprinting. Please don't sprint too fast. Please don't sprint too fast. Thévenet, it's gonna take the podium. There we go. For Job Zoetemelk on the final, it's not even a GC stage, on an Echelon stage, losing the podium of the Tour de France to me. Roger de Vlaming is the winner of this stage, but I gotta be completely honest, I had simply given up before the stage. I did not believe I could get back on that podium with Bernard Thévenet, but I think it's happened. Passing Job Zoetemelk 13 seconds ahead now with a single sprint stage left. Bernard Thévenet is number 3 at the Tour de France. Yes! And I do very much believe that we'll be able to get that podium home securely on this final stage, a sprint stage 2, not the Champs-Élysées, to the Velodrome de la Cipale. Anyway, I don't feel like we've had many pure sprint stages in this race, but this is definitely gonna be one with Rick van Linden as the favorite, but we'll go for Le Mans or Esclasson. And I would like to see at least the podium at the finish. So, the stage is supposed to finish on a velodrome, so I wonder if that's actually the case. Either way, I'm definitely gonna stay in the peloton for this race. It's only 90 kilometers, and I think it's gonna be a sprint. We've got Le Mans with a +1 on the day, so 83 sprint stat. Esclasson with a -1, so our leader is pretty clear. It's Le Mans. Now, I do wonder if the race in Pro Cycling Manager also finishes in a velodrome. Yes, indeed, it does. It is also a copy-paste of the Roubaix velodrome, but I don't care too much. I reckon that will be quite fun. Not sure what to expect though. I think the velodrome starts with about 6-ish kilometers to go. I've got my train at the front of the peloton as we speak, a 6-man train. I need to keep this front position. There we go, leading the team into this village is Bracken, now Ovion taking over. 4 riders left in our team with 6 kilometers to go. We're looking pretty solid at the moment, but I think the velodrome is coming. It is coming right here. Ovion in front position into the velodrome as we speak, so perfect positioning right now, but the camera angle is quite difficult. And Giselle on Le Mans. Don Guillaume is ready to launch on 99 pretty soon right now, but we've got a sprint train by Rick van Linden going forward pretty fast now, but we are still within range. Last 2.4, let's launch right now with Don Guillaume. S-Class in the wheel, ready for the lead out. We'll launch right now. This is so chaotic. Le Mans is in the wheel. Last kilometer right now. Come on, Le Mans. Le Mans tries to get out of the wheel, and Eric Le Mans is going to win, not on the Champs-Élysées, but in the Velodrome de la Cipale. What a victory. Gotta say, that was pretty fun. Look at our man on the podium after the final stage of the Tour de France, Eric Le Mans, a Belgian. But of course, the 1973 Tour de France is won by Eddy Merckx, unlike in real life, ahead of Luis Ocaña, who won it in real life, ahead of our man, Bernard Thévenet, in 3rd place on 4 minutes and 5 seconds. And the KOM jersey goes to our team, Raymond Delille, after going in the breakaway nearly every stage, so a wonderful reward. With the green jersey going to the Flandria team, Walter Godefroot, ahead of Eddy Merckx. And the white jersey once again to our team for Bernard Thévenet with a minute 36 on Francesco Moser. Overall, I think 2 stage wins for our team, a podium in GC, the KOM jersey, and the white jersey. I think that's pretty successful. But of course, my goal at the start of this video was not just to get good results, but also to experience the Tour de France 1973, get to know the riders a little bit, and try and figure out what happened in real life. Because like I said before, I had zero interest in this era of cycling before this video began. And like, I'm not gonna pretend that I care a lot about Eddy Merckx, Luis Ocaña, and so forth now, but at least I know who they are. And that is a massive improvement from the start of this video. But hey, this video is something completely different on this channel, a full Grand Tour from the Dark Ages in one video, and I loved it. So yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, comment it below and get this video to 2,000 likes and I'll make sure to do another. But for now, that's the end of today's video. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.